Hello mga madam and welcome back to the channel. Sa video na to, gagawa ko ng content about dating an AFAM. The pros and cons of dating an AFAM. But first of all, let's try to know unsa man jud ng AFAM. I mean, what does it mean? Because I've heard it most recently, maraming content sa TikTok about AFAMs, and I'm like, is it an acronym for something, or does it just generally refer to a foreigner? So let's see what Google says. So when you key in the word AFAM, this is what Google is returning. AFAM means in Filipino a white foreigner. Meron din ditong from Quora, garnered 33 votes. It means a foreigner assigned in Manila. This is used by bar girls and gay men to refer to them. Okay, so yun. AFAM refers to the white foreigner na pumupunta dito sa Pilipinas. Okay, ako ay ikakasal sa isang Amerikano, and in the past, yung mga naka-date ko din, mga hindi naman sila mga talaga no. Puti sila. Pero meron naman akong boyfriend na Filipino noon, which is like a college thing. So, parang, if he's watching this, oh my God, no offense. It's just, I was just a very different person then as I am today. So, anyway, this video is not about that, but this is about my thoughts and my opinions and the pros and cons in dating a foreigner. So, based lang to sa sarili kong experience, and this is not necessarily a general parang eto na talaga yung mga pros and cons, no? For me lang naman. And I made a list here sa notes ko, yon. And we're gonna start off with the cons or the disadvantages in dating a foreigner. So, 5. I noted 5. And the first one is the language barrier. Buti na lang, most Filipinos, if not all, can speak and understand English. Pero yung white foreigner naman, diba, hindi limitado sa English lang, because there are also foreigners who speak who speaks a different language. Pero mas marami kasing puti o na from English-speaking countries. So, yun, buti na lang. Pero, eto, kailangan din nating i-note kasi yung language barrier na tinutukoy ko is not limited to our ability to speak the language and understand the language, because it's more than that. Because when you actually converse with a foreigner on a daily, gagamit sila ng maraming idiomatic expressions that are normal for their daily conversation use. Like, for example, cry me a river. I can't think of anything else, but let's just take that as an example. If we are to translate that literally, cry me a river, iyakan mo ako ng, ano yung river sa Tagalog? Hindi ko alam, pero sa Bisaya, it's sapa. So, cry me a sapa. Oh my gosh. Ano yun? But for them, it means something else. It means to weep profusely or excessively in front of another person. So, oh my gosh, diba? If you take it literally, halaka. There the problem, dun magkakaroon ng hindi pagkakaintindihan. So, what I'm trying to say is that language barrier is not just speaking and understanding. It's going beyond that. There's so much history about the language, just like our language, just like the Filipino language, the Bisaya dialect, the Hiligaynon, and the whatever. It's only when you immerse yourself into that community nga nagsasalita ng ganoong lengguwahe that you understand them better, the way that they need to be understood, right? So, yun yung number 1. Pangalawa is yung cultural differences. Kasi marami differences. And iba-iba kasi tayo ng pinanggalingan. And all throughout this video, I will really point it out that iba-iba ang ating pinanggalingan. Mas iba sa kung Filipino yung kadate natin. Kasi ibang syudad, pwedeng ibang syudad na Filipino from ibang syudad, ibang island. And in the Philippines, you know, it is we are an archipelago, and each region tends to have their own very distinct characteristics, even food, right? So, etong mga taong to, yung mga puti, galing din sila sa ibang part ng mundo na are very, very distinct naman. Yung personalities, yung mga ugali nila, yung mga gusto nila, yung the way that they do things, their point of view, which is largely a large amount of that is because of their backgrounds. So there's that. If we don't have the open heart and the open mind na intindihin sila, or na wag mo nang mag-judge, ay naku girl, hindi talaga ito hindi uubra yung relasyon. Kasi even with me and yung fiancé ko, mabuti na lang talaga hindi niya ako naabutan sa mga panahong hindi pa ako ganoon ka-mature. I would say now that I have become more patient and understanding than I was before. Because nung younger ako, parang emosyon palagi yung umiiral. Pero ngayon, natututo na akong maging, reasonable. I try my best. It might not be all the time, but I try my best. And I don't react immediately to a situation or to something. I take a pause and I breathe, and then I think. So there's a lot of thinking now involved in my response to something. And it comes with maturity, and you cannot expect everyone to have that. So, yun, buti na lang. Tinatry kong maigi na maging better every day, because the relationship that we have is a very exciting one, but at the same time it is also challenging in so many ways. And number 3 is the cons, or the disadvantage na makes it more challenging, which is the distance. Kasi I am a person that my love language is physical touch and time. So because of the distance, thousands and thousands of miles away, hindi ko ma-receive yung touch. Does that mean that I feel less loved? Hindi. Kasi pinaprocess siya ng utak ko na because ganito nga, malayo kaming dalawa sa isa't isa. And before I entered into this relationship, I knew then that hindi ko nga ma-receive yung physical touch as often as I wanted to receive it to make me feel loved because of the distance. Pero nako-compensate naman siya ng time, because we spend a lot of time together and he makes a lot of time for me. So yun, we're able to compromise. Pero importante pa rin, of course, na mag-meet kami sometime. So that's why I am very, very, very happy and lucky that he is able to arrange his affairs and is able to come and visit. I mean, twice this year, kasi babalik siya sa October. Oh my gosh. Okay. Twice this year. And kasi ang tagal ng visa, and it's just crazy that we don't see each other until the visa ma-approve na yung visa. Grabe naman yun, no? Ang besh. We're hearing like 13 months minimum sa I-129F processing times. So, oh my gosh, ang tagal nun. But we're well into our 4th month from the application process, and we're being very, very patient. So, yeah. After the distance, number 4 would be the time difference. So, nasa United States siya, and obviously, dito ko sa Pilipinas. Yung umaga ko, gabi niya. Yung gabi ko, umaga niya. So, hala. And I also have a job. He has a job. He works too. So, there's that need to adjust to that time difference. And lastly, yung mas mabigat sa lahat, I think, is the extra uncertainty. Kasi nga, di ba, kahit yung jowa mo dito lang, uncertain ka pa rin. I mean, you know, at the back of our minds, okay, siguro mind ko lang, there's that uncertainty. And not because it's uncertain talaga, but inherently, I think there's that in us na, because nothing in this world is permanent, nothing in this world is predictable, everything is uncertain. The only certain thing is change, right? And because of those earlier mentioned disadvantages, it makes it extra uncertain. So, yeah, yun yung mga disadvantages na naiisip ko or na-experience ko if you choose to date a foreigner that is living outside the Philippines, of course. Alright, pero, okay, dito naman tayo sa advantages of dating an AFAM. First would be the extraordinary experience. I'm saying extraordinary experience. It's because if you can remember the first two things that I described as a consequence, language barrier and cultural differences, those two, even though they are a disadvantage, they can actually be an advantage if you know how to, if you look at it in a way where you want to learn and experience. Kasi nga, diba, iba talaga sila. And you need to look at them with an eye of wanting to understand and wanting to learn, not from a place of judgment. Because in a way that you don't want them to judge you as well. So ito yung pinaka-interesting thing, I guess, in dating a foreigner. Because when you date a Filipino, chances are, yeah, of course, ibang family yung pinanggalingan, so iba rin yung personality, pero mas iba yung mga puti. Of course, they're more. That's why it's an extraordinary experience. And I think it's the perfect opportunity for someone or for the people involved to be more well-rounded, extra rounded, and then yung judgment also, and this undeniably enables a person to have a wider horizon. And second, of course, you learn to be extra patient and extra flexible. Third and fourth disadvantage was distance and time difference. So I am saying extra patient kasi I'm very clingy. And because nga physical touch, diba? So gusto ko palaging kasama and all that. Pero ngayon, hindi ko nga siya makasama araw-araw because of the distance. Pero nagiging mas understanding ako, and alam ko kasi na all the wait, all these days, nights that I'm waiting before, until the day we can be together again, or it's all gonna be worth it. And both of us are being really extra patient about it and flexible kasi, girl, yun nga yung time difference. Me and him, ang dami-daming ginagawa sa life. So, at first, akala ko, I don't have time for this. And what scares me about long-distance relationships really is the large amount of time that you need to allocate for the person, because you are trying to compensate for the other things that you're unable to give to that person. So, example, compromising yung physical touch because of the distance. Bigyan mo lang lahat ng mas maraming time para, the person can feel loved or wanted. And I thought I couldn't sustain, but oh my gosh, I can. And it just comes naturally that everything else in my schedule just adjusts. And nabibigay din niya yung time na kailangan namin. So, therefore, I conclude that we became more flexible. And number 3 is being extra understanding and extra assertive. Going back to those differences and barriers, nagiging mas na-exercise natin yung pagiging understanding natin and assertiveness. Kasi if we are not assertive and we don't ask the right questions or the whys, oh my gosh, it is a perfect formula for doomsday. Diba? Kasi nga, balik tayo doon sa premise na iba't iba ang ating pinanggalingan. So, kailangan nating tanungin kung why a certain person feels like this, why a certain person speaks like that, why. So we need to ask those questions before we react or before tayo conclude. So I guess the way that you treat the person the way that you want to be treated. Try to understand the person the way that you wanted to be understood. So it's quid pro quo. You give something and give something that you want to receive, something like that. I don't know if I'm making sense, pero yun, that's what I'm trying to say. Number 4 is we become extra creative with our communication skills. And because of the distance and the language barrier, obviously, thank you, internet, for allowing us to communicate still, especially noong during pandemic, no? Kasi they cannot even visit us. We only have the Messenger, WhatsApp, and Skype, and whatever to communicate. So it's not the normal conversation where you actually meet up and have a date, go see a movie. Well, you can actually see a movie together now on Skype or Netflix, share screen, Zoom, something like that. So that's pwede na yun ngayon. Pero other things that normal couples do, we cannot do. So we have to be more creative with our communication skills. And it's almost really just an effect of being in love. Hindi mo kailangang pilitin yung sarili mo maging creative. Nagiging creative ka na talaga, girl. So it just naturally happens. And of course, lastly, you're extra happy. I don't know if all of you who are dating an AFAM is extra happy, but I know I am super extra happy, and I've never been happier ever. Like, ewan ko na lang. There's just no words to describe it, but I found the right one. I found the one for me. That's why I can say all these things. And this video is not to encourage you about why you dating an AFAM. Of course, you do you. I'm just sharing what I feel and what I've experienced all throughout this journey, and no regrets. I am really happy. And if you do have any of your own experience that you want to share, please, I'd like to learn about them. Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like, share, and perhaps subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in our next story time, sharing time video. Bye for now.